The president of Jackson College, Dr. Dan Phelan. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Bart. How are you?
Good to see you. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Always a blessing to be with you.
Yeah, great start of the new school year.
Yes.
A lot of exciting things happening on the campus, and it looks like you got a lot of students that are that headed back to college this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you being there and helping to kick off the fanfare of some of these events, most recently with the opening of the Astronomical Observatory. I really appreciate you being out there. That was just such an amazing opportunity for us to be able to access some federal money to put in the hands of our students that kind of technology that really is reserved for universities. And our big motivation was that we wanted to be able to have our students have a hands-on experience with STEM education. You know, so most classes, they're science, technology, engineering, and math, and they're theoretical constructs and kind of abstract elements. And as the world has gotten more focused on space and space exploration, I pursued an opportunity with some congressionally designated funds to be able to get some funding to help. It was over almost $400,000 to be able to assist us with the creation of this facility. Partnered with a company called Planewave down in Adrian, who we're good friends with and good partners with. They actually built and constructed it. They put us in touch with another organization called Sea West. They actually have these telescopes all over the world. Chile is where their biggest installation is. But to have this telescope that's about I would say at least on par with the second largest in Michigan, to have that capability here was just powerful, and to let them see how science, physics, chemistry, biology connect, and being able to actually put your eyeball right down to the lens and see what that's like. It also has some high-tech capabilities, so you can look at this at home and look at what the college is looking at. But to really provide a practical hands-on application in the sciences has just been great.
And I don't know if you used the telescope or the observatory to predict this, but rain started exactly 10 seconds at the conclusion of the ceremony.
Exactly right. Yeah, as I was standing at the podium looking over the audience there, and great that you were there, and I was looking over to the southwest, and I could see it coming, so it expedited my comments, and I think that of other speakers as well. And I really appreciate you folks being out there. These are just great photographs of that space, and of course we're partnering with our community as well, being able to think about how this can tie in with our dual enrolled students in the public high schools, and giving them a moment to pursue sciences. But to have this technology, this capability to capture light that was created before you and I were born, and understand what that means in our world. You know, it begins opening up ideas about, I know there's conversations with NASA about putting a moon base up there, traveling to Mars, more pursuits of understanding our solar system, black holes and singularities. And we were just really excited to be able to have this in Jackson. And then also partnering with Ella Sharp and the facility they have there, the planetarium, and thinking about how we create those practical connections and then online connections for a much larger audience. Very excited about that.
Yeah, and I heard people say, wow, this is in Jackson, and there are also several people on campus at that event who had not been on campus in a long time, and it really is jaw-dropping to see all the progress and really how cool everything looks.
Yeah. The Mercer organization did a phenomenal job in helping put that facility and prepare everything all the way around there, and then also the neighboring JPEG facility and getting that parking lot all cleaned up and providing ADA access to those spaces. It's just been great. And then of course the the Planewave and Sea West people have just been great to deal with as well. And I just couldn't be happier with the facility. The board was obviously very excited about that, and just a new addition to our community. And I know that in the continuing education side, we'll be having community events as well. And there's actually a place out there immediately to the east of it where there's pylons where you can actually bring your own telescope out there and be part of the experience. Bring your own, if you've got a little Celestron or something, you can set it up there and plug it in, mount it, and watch and enjoy that as like a class or a community event or those kinds of things. So
yeah, and one byproduct of your rural location, not too much in the way of light pollution.
Exactly. Well, actually, we went further than that. Jim Jones, who heads up a lot of our work around the design of this, and and working with Jason Valente on the creation of the space, wanted to make sure that they had the ability to flip a switch and the lights on that side of campus would go dim except for the security spaces, to be able to help provide a better resolution and optics for observation in the sky.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we had board meeting last week, and I know one of the things you wanted to talk about today, a number of students who spoke at the board, and I know there were a couple of campus issues that you wanted to address.
Yes, well, I appreciate the question. Yes, we had a board meeting on a board meeting on Monday. We had a number of students who did come up and express to the board and to me that there were a number of unresolved issues for them that they were deeply concerned about. They covered the waterfront, from making sure that we are better listening. We took the entire time to listen to the students, hearing what their concerns were. I was taking feverish notes to make sure that I didn't miss a thing. And I think making sure that we're listening and we're talking more than we have in the past. There were also concerns and questions about an instructional program we have in the summer called the Ready, Set, Jet program. This is a summer bridge program. Most community colleges have them. And they're designed for people like me who didn't think they were ready for college. I didn't think I belonged in college. And so being able to come to this Ready, Set, Jet summer program and pick up 9 or 12 semester credit hours, being able to do that and get a good jump start on education, and then allow me to continue to live in housing because there's academic requirements for living in housing. We were fortunate in that the students that we were able to bring into the Ready, Set, Jet program and their mentors, we were able to cover all those costs. We actually got a state grant to be able to do that. It's a one-time grant. So their room was paid, their food was paid, their tuition paid. And we also had some resident mentors who helped them, and they also got a stipend to be able to do that work. That runs for about 5.5 weeks. And there had somehow the message had gotten out that we were canceling the program, which was not the case. This is something I believe strongly in, and that we're going to continue. We were going to discontinue some elements of it, but not discontinue the program. We're actually we didn't have the funding for it anymore, so going forward, we wouldn't be able to provide that extensive reimbursement on all those expenses. That we would expand the program, because this program has been designed for resident students only. We also have a lot of commuter students, who want to address them. And probably half of our enrollment is online. So we want to make sure that we have an opportunity, where maybe some close-in facilitation, to be able to assist those students in understanding how to get ready for college. The Michigan Reconnect program that the governor announced, for example, provides some financial support for students to be able to take classes. But if I've been working, I'm 45, and I haven't had a math class in quite a while, feeling like I'm in a safe space where I can get some help and mentoring and tutoring, that's good. So we are going to keep the program in place. We're just going to expand it and broaden it. So some students were concerned that we were canceling that. We got to that with them. Some expressed concern about security on campus, and they were concerned that perhaps the security team was too forceful, too aggressive in their work by how they come into their room, how they keep them safe, how they speak to them. I shared with our board, and I shared with the students, and I've met with many of them since, that we had an outside service that was helping us. And like all organizations, all companies are struggling with getting people to come back. And this contracted service that we had, we would see a security officer show up to be able to assist us, and they were there for maybe a month or two, and then they're gone. Then there's a new person. I started noticing that problem, after COVID, and even after around the first part of the year, I started seeing more of that, and I said, I want to stop this. We used to have outside people helping us with the bookstore, and I just didn't like that much either. I'd actually found a company that had helped us to lower the cost of textbooks from $200, $400, $600, even $800 a textbook, to get it down to now $70 per class. And I said, we've just got to do this differently. Let's bring that all in-house. And I started talking after the first year about doing the same with security. So about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 now, we discontinued our partnership with outside organization. And now we're in the process of hiring people that we know are committed to what we call TCS squared, a total commitment to student success, that they are They're focused on making sure that the students feel safe, that they're there to support them, to encourage them, to help them get to the Center for Student Success if they need help with math, to be a listening ear, jump their car in the wintertime, that kind of thing. So I do hear that. There was also an expression of their appearance and how that looks. So we're looking at how to maybe tamping that down a little bit and looking at maybe softer clothing, maybe with some of our staff, and thinking about that. You know, we're in a very different time in our society, and I know parents trust us to be a safe campus. And like many of my colleagues across this state and others, they actually have police departments on campus. Mm-hmm. And I have avoided doing that. In fact, I met with a couple of our trustees and actually had a conversation with them about, is this the way we want to go? Do we want to go to a higher level? And they agreed with me, and together we said, let's not do that. Let's just keep this as being a security detail on our campus. And that's where we've decided to stay. This is just safety and security. And we're continuing to focus on that. So we have those kinds of concerns that we're addressing. We had students come on campus on Wednesday and had a rally. We had about 25 students or so that were continuing to express these concerns. There was also some concerns about some of our employees' behaviors toward work-study students. And so we're taking a look at that as well. One of our trustees at the board meeting had suggested that we look at an external independent evaluator, an investigation to come in and take a look at that. We're going to have a special board meeting on Monday the 25th, and the board's going to consider that for a special investigation to look at all of the allegations and suggestions that the students brought forth to us, to the board and I. But I will tell you that we take them all very seriously. I do know, and I hear that from our team on campus, that even in our own community there are people deeply concerned. I hear that and I understand it and I respect it. And my message is that the board and I are committed to making sure that we address all these issues that the students and employees have raised, that we will use the work of an external investigator to be able to assist us with that, and just start working the plan, working on what has been identified, what is the evidence that is out there, and let's move beyond the vitriol or the protesting, and say, let's have conversations to understand exactly what has happened. Let's hear what the report would say from an investigator, and now let's just start working the problem. But ultimately, we want to have a college that students feel safe in. They feel like they can get a good, solid education, that they feel respected, that they feel like this is a place where I can come and do well and be successful after Jackson College. That's what I've committed the last 23 years of my life to, and I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, and one thing you didn't mention, and I was reviewing some of the notes from the board of last Monday, the board meeting. A number of the students, in speaking about their concerns, also talked about their positive experiences in housing or with Ready, Set, Jet. I was personally at the Ready, Set, Jet graduation ceremony.
Yes, thank you for that.
And I could see the gratitude from the families that were part of it, and it did. And I did hear that yes, the funding was ending, but the program was not.
Correct. That's correct.
And also, I think worth noting, you've got on the Board of Trustees a former deputy sheriff, a current undersheriff, and a former chief of police.
Yeah, we do.
So when it comes to security, you do have some expert input at board level.
Right. And I value the experience set of all of our trustees, and being able to spend time with them and saying, listen, I'm trying to walk this thin line between having a space where we can't have marijuana on campus, as an institution receiving federal money. I just can't have that. But also wanting to be respectful of our students who are saying, we want to be adults. We want to stretch a little bit. And so, like for example, there was some concern about curfew during that summer bridge program. And our thinking was, every year for the past 5 years that we've had Ready, Set, Jet, the summer bridge program, we've had a curfew. The idea is to begin training people about, this is what you need to do. You have to have a good night's rest. Staying up until 4 o'clock in the morning is not conducive to good learning at 8 a.m. the next day. But I also hear what they're asking for. I'm listening, and so we're removing curfew. We're doing some kinds of things like that to show that we're listening, to hear the perspective of the student, to hear their lived experience, to see them, to respect them, to understand them, and where we can make those adjustments that make sense. And so we're doing that even now, and thinking about how can we have more support services to meet their needs. My lived experience is not theirs, and vice versa. So how can we honor that, and how can we have those conversations, but also recognize that I'm not letting off the gas. I mean, in 23 years, we've added Men of Merit, Sisters of Strength, a multicultural center, which was provided by funding by one of our faculty members, Woody Wilson, which you were there for many years ago. We have affinity groups in our community from the East Indian community to Pakistanis to African Americans to LGBTQIAs to Spanish. I mean, we're doing all that. We have those celebrations of ethnic moments on our campus. We make sure that we have a focus on making sure that our employed workforce is diverse as well, that we put programs and services in place to be able to assist all students and being as comprehensive, as inclusive as possible. Do we get it right every time, Bart? No. I mean, we're a pretty big organization, pretty complex, and no organization gets it right, but I am committed to continue to earn the respect of our community and our community leaders, that we are providing a good quality education. We hire great faculty. We have got good curriculum. We're getting the best financial aid we can provide. We're trying to keep people safe, but we're going to do our best to improve based on the feedback that we're getting, and I'm committed to that end.
Well, I did see that you cleared your schedule pretty much for the past week to address these concerns. So I think as a parent that you are taking it pretty seriously when you have concerns on campus. Students and staff should be gratified that they've got a listening ear in the president's and the board's office as well.
Mm-hmm. I am absolutely committed to this work, and I'm sorry that this has happened. And can we do better at listening? Yes, I'm committed to doing that. I'm committed to helping our students. But at the end of the day, conversation's just conversation, and so that I hope in the weeks and months ahead it demonstrates to the community, to our students, to our own employees, that I'm committed to what I've just shared with you, for example.
Well, we appreciate you coming in today.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity as always.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you too, Bart. Thank you.
Jackson College President, Dr. Dan Phelan. We've got